So welcome everybody to this live video. As you can see in the description, we're talking about power hours today. And my special guest is Jamie here. So thank you for being on, or I guess I need to point this way based off the camera. Thank you so much for giving us your time. The reason I have her on is because she is using my connection builder and had such an enthusiastic response to like just one of the surveys that I sent out. I really like to keep tabs and see if we're doing a good job for you guys. What can we improve? Because we're still a growing app and we take your opinion seriously. And you were just so enthusiastic about it. And in fact, you told me that you are like sharing it with your team and you tell them like what you do in your power hour to get success using this tool. And I think that that's something that a lot of people would be super interested in hearing about, because like we said, like power hour is like this thing that you're supposed to do and everyone stresses out about it doing perfectly, and then they never end up doing anything at all. And that's the opposite of what we want to get done in my connection builder. And I just want to hear what you have to say. This is our first time really meeting. I just want to hear what you have to say. Tell the people, like, why are you even using my connection builder, and how do you teach your team to use it to get the most out of their power hour?
Sure. Okay, so just a little bit of background. I started using my connection builder back in January, and I trusted Jesse and Stephanie because I'm a part of Social Team Builder, and I knew the value would be incredible. But at the time, I don't know if you remember this, Stephanie, but I emailed you, and I think I'd started like the free trial and was already overwhelmed with a lot of it. I didn't want to let the month go by and not do anything with it. And so you had emailed me, just kind of checking in, and I responded and was so grateful for your response, because I just shared that I'm still very much growing my business, and I have two little boys, 5 and 3, and our schedule differs, like so many others who have their own businesses. And so the time that I have is very limited, and I need to make the most effective use of it. And the time that I have devoted even to training or personal development is very small. And so I have to be, wise in that and not just always be learning and never doing. And so I just shared some of these anxieties with Stephanie, and I was like, I don't know about learning something new. And, I don't know that I would even use all the features on my connection builder. And her response to me was just perfect. I think you said that, I don't have to use all that my connection builder has to offer right off the bat. And you told me about the little videos where I could access them and just learn a little piece at a time. And that's really what I did. I started over the course of the next week, just watching like 1 2-minute video a day and just adding that in. And after a week of doing that, I felt very equipped to move forward with using my connection builder. And so I used it for the month of January. And in February, I challenged all of the business builders on my team to use it as well for the month of February. And I kind of didn't give them an option about it. I was like, just try it. And, I know you can be overwhelmed at the beginning, but I really find value in this. And I really pushed them to try it. And most of them did. Most of them are still using it, not all. But a couple of things that I want to say before I kind of get into my power hour is I still don't use all that it has to offer, but that's really why I started, there was no pressure to do that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why my team agreed to start, because then that took the overwhelming factor out of it a little bit. And so what I told them, and what, it's basically what Stephanie told me starting out, is there's no pressure to learn it all and use it all immediately. I do a lot of things on paper. I am a pen and paper type person. I like to print things out and write, but I am a firm believer that effective tracking of contacts and forming a relationship that's based on trust needs to be more than pen and paper. I don't think it can be done as well without a tool like this. And so that's why I pushed my team to use it. I'm just super, super grateful for this system. So I'll just jump into, I've kind of, before I get into the details of this, I will say that my power flow, that's what I call it with my team, is ever changing and adapting based on what I'm learning and just different training I'm receiving on what's effective to be done during a power hour. But Stephanie and I were chatting before, and it is so crucial not to overanalyze it to the point that you don't do anything. And so I do something, and then I adapt a little. Every weekend I have a meeting with myself, and I look at my activities from the previous week because I'm tracking it, and I just kind of analyze and see if I need to change something up the next week. So what I'm doing right now may change next week, but here's what it currently is. And I've told my team when I've shared this with them, you can adjust this and adapt it based on the time you have in a day. And the time I have each day even differs. Like, we don't have the same schedule every day. And so the amount of time I get to work on my business changes every day. And when that is changes. But based on this list I have, I feel like I can adapt how much time I spend on each activity, however I need to, and go from there and still get the most important things done and eliminate some things whenever I just don't have time for them. So I've broken it up into different sections, and I'll kind of break it down even within those sections with how it relates to my connection builder. But I first start my day with new conversations or connections. And I'll spend anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes on this. And just for a frame of reference, I have normally 1 to 3 hours a day to work my business. So that's kind of what I'm working with here. And so 10 to 30 minutes I will spend with new conversations, new connections. This usually means that I'm checking social media and I'm seeing, I'm starting new conversations with people who've engaged with me or have been watching me. And so in my connection builder, that means I'm adding in new leads as those conversations are beginning, or if someone's reached out to me and I don't have them as a lead in my connection builder. And so that's how I like to start my day, by me beginning conversations versus me just reacting and responding to what's in my inbox. That's just a personal preference.
So quick, you said sorry, I'm so sorry if you can hear that though. But you said you start your day 10 to 30 minutes starting new conversations, because that's critical. You have to always fill your funnel, you guys. You can't only be talking to the same old people all the time. You have to be starting new conversations. And then you said, with my connection builder, it's easy because you just plug them right in. So I know a lot of people look at this system and they're like, I have to upload everybody right now, and truly, and I think that's what stresses them out. They're like, how do I get 10,000 people into there? I have to do that. And really, the more important thing is go follow up with your people or go begin those new conversations and just add them in one at a time when you do that. And then it won't feel like this overwhelming thing. So I love that you are doing that and you're just kind of like taking it day by day, adding them in. And then after that's happened, you've been using this for a little while. What happens now? The system tells you when to follow up with them. You never forget. What's been the benefit that you've seen from doing it that way?
Oh, well, let me confess something. When I first started, I uploaded, I was using another CRM previously, and I had exported all my contacts from that, which was like 4,000 or something. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to upload the first 1,000 to my connection builder. And I regretted doing that. Now I'm going through and archiving a lot of those because it's just, they've since moved into my missed leads, missed follow-ups. But it has run so much smoother, just making sure it's an actual lead that I'm talking to and that's in my system and, in my follow-ups for sure.
Yeah, so big tip there, you guys. Don't just fill up a system to ignore it, because then you're setting yourself up for failure. Only fill it with real leads, because then that's when you start saving time instead of wasting time, is that you know who is real and who's not, and you can spend more of your focused, attentive energy on those people.
Yes, and I still have my exported contacts from that other CRM. And whenever I feel like I'm kind of running out of people, I will go browse through those and remember, okay, like this was the point I stopped last time. Let me see, is there someone else that I, need to reach out to, need to invite again or follow up with? So that's still there in an Excel file, on my computer, but it's not muddying up everything in my connection builder.
Yes, that's awesome. Okay, don't let me interrupt. Continue.
No, you're fine. And so the next section of my work, I just call these like power pockets, is all focused on leads. And I will spend anywhere from 20 to 60 minutes doing this. And so what I do is I start with today's follow-ups in my connection builder, and I filter through just leads. So I'm not looking at clients, I'm not looking at team, just my leads. And based on how many are in the system, I mean, that's kind of how long I will spend on that. If I know based on my small amount of time that I have, if I only have 15 minutes, I set that timer. And I use the timer for everything. And I tell my team, you've got to use a timer, because if not, you'll just get carried away and then you'll get overwhelmed because you'll not do all the things you need to do. So use the timer. That's a big piece of advice I have. So if I set my timer for 15 minutes, I may get through all my leads in less than that time, or it may, I may only get through some of them in that time, but I'm not going to worry, because I know that I can always go back and see my missed follow-ups later if I need to. So I go through that, and then I'll spend the next 15 or so minutes responding to messages in my inbox. So it's not until that point, when I've done my new conversations and connections and done my lead follow-ups, that I then go to my inboxes, whether that's my business page or my Instagram inbox or my text messages, my email. I turn off all notifications on my phone, other than like people that need to get a hold of me, like my husband or someone watching my children. I turn off all my notifications so that I'm only doing work during my work time. And so this 15 minutes or so is when I respond to those messages in all those inboxes. And then lastly, if I have a lot of time to work, I love days like that when I can do this next activity. I will go to my leads and I will do follow-ups that are missed. And I usually sort that by either temperature or the last time I connected with them. And so that's been huge, just for really, I never feel, since using my connection builder, I don't think I've ever felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to. There's just always someone there. And I don't stress out about missing follow-ups, because I know I will get to them, eventually on the days of the week when I have a little bit more time to go back and make those that list of missed follow-ups smaller.
Yeah, I love that. A theme throughout has been that it's reduced your stress, it seems like.
Yes, for sure. And so the next portion is growing my network, and I'll spend about 15 minutes doing that. This may or may not be something that I track in my connection builder. Like for my specific company, I have an office that I check and can see if I've been given free customer leads. So I'll check that once a day. When I check that, I will add those contacts to my connection builder and immediately send them an email from my connection builder. And I've saved all my emails in the scripts list, all amazing features that I don't have to have those things saved in multiple places.
I love that you're using email. Okay, I'm going to take a time out and interrupt you again. I'm sorry, because you're doing such a good job. But so many people come into my connection builder and they think it's just another place to check Messenger. And everything you're saying is like music to my ears, because you're using it how it was intended to be used. And that is what works best for you. And I love that you're using all those tools, like including email. I think half of our members probably don't even realize they can use email in it. And it's a direct line to your Gmail account, and you can email them right from in there without having to leave. Like you said, saved scripts that are in your voice, you could just copy it on there, so you can move so fast in an entire email list. I love that you're using that feature, because I think so many people don't use it. Mm-hmm. And you can message them on Facebook, you can email them there, you can do all these different touch points, because you never know where someone's looking first in their day. So I love that you're using that. Yes,
and I would say that the email scripts has been one of my favorite features, because previously I would just have canned responses in my Gmail. And it's just been super helpful. One, for keeping me in my, like when I'm working, my connection builder is open. And when I close it, I'm not working anymore. And so it's just helped me to be more streamlined. And so if I get a text at 8 o'clock at night, one, I might not check it, but say I talk to a brand new challenger who, or a brand new client, when they sign up, I send them an email from my connection builder, from my scripts, telling them how to get started in a prep group that I have for what we're doing. And so then say they contact me at a certain point and I'm not working and they tell me, hey, I finished doing XYZ, I'm ready to get started on the next step. I'm not going to be responding to them until I get back in my connection builder and send them that email from my scripts. It's super quick. It doesn't take long at all. So
That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy. You don't have to feel like crazy for your notifications. You can just legit shut them off when you're not working and enjoy your family and enjoy your life. Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yes, for sure. That's really the only thing during that power pocket, like growing my network. I do some other things that I don't track in my connection builder because, like for example, I'll add new friends on Facebook, or I'll invite people to like my business page, or I'll get new followers on Instagram. But because I haven't really begun engagement with those people yet, I don't put them into my connection builder yet because, again, I don't want to just fill it up with contacts. And I think that's also, it can be a time suck of just entering all these names of people you're adding, and can either, one, I think, distract you from doing the things you should be doing, or two, it causes you not to want to invite as many people or follow as many people because you don't want to have to track them. And so it's not until engagement actually starts with those people or conversations start that I put them into my connection builder.
I love it. I love that strategy.
So the next thing is I kind of shift from growing my network to supporting clients. And so I just go to today's client touch bases. I go to today's, follow-ups and filter through client, and just, check in with whoever's there. And if it's not that many people, or if I feel like I've got time to talk to a few more clients, again, I will go to missed follow-ups, filtered by client, see who I connected with last, and just go back from there.
Okay, that's awesome. And so I want to touch on that a little bit. I think I've heard from a lot of our members that one of their favorite things about my connection builder is that it almost forces them to get in contact with their current product clients and get in contact with their teammates, because when you have so much to do, it's easy to let that fall behind. It's not that you don't want to communicate with them, but given the choice between follow up with people who already said yes to you and work with these people who have not yet said yes to you, you tend to spend more time here. And if you don't have a system like this, then all the people who already said yes to you that you want to love and nurture and all that kind of fall behind. And my connection builder, that's vital to it, is we give you recommendations for how many teammates to reach out to each day and how many current clients to reach out to each day, because that increases their happiness level, their success with either the product or the business, and the retention rates, which is key. Part of this industry is wanting that recurring kind of business. And if you nurture those people once they say yes to you and once they're in, then you're going to start seeing that kind of level off and grow instead of decline.
Yes. And you said something I want to really highlight, is that my connection builder gives recommendations on how many to talk to. Previously, I would go several days and not do touch bases with clients. And then I would get overwhelmed and feel bad. And then I would, do something and contact, this really big number of people. Well, then they start responding, and then I don't have time to respond to them and really give them the time and attention that they deserve and have a significant conversation with them. And at the time, it just became numbers for the sake of numbers. But now, like, the recommendations you give are not overwhelming, and it allows me to focus on each individual a little more and really devote time to have a conversation with them and not feel like I'm responding to all these people I messaged all day long, and thus letting those work-life, balance lines blur a little bit.
Yeah, it's about that consistent action.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the reasonable goals, something telling you what to do, something holding you accountable, giving you some guidance on what you should do each day, if you do that every day, that's when you see the results. It's not about skipping 3 days because you need a break because you felt overwhelmed and then doing 100 touch bases with everybody and then suddenly feeling overwhelmed again. That is not a sustainable way to run a business, but that consistent behavior is what brings you the results. And it's better for everybody. Like you said, you don't want to reach out to somebody and then have them excitedly respond to you and then you ignore them or give them a canned response. And they're like, well, why'd they even reach out in the first place? and that's not what anybody wants. So I'm so glad that it's more balanced for you now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and the same thing, the next portion of my day is really just mentoring my team and going to, follow-ups for today on, with the team filter on, and then maybe checking in with a few others. And I have different ways that I mentor my team, but I always want to be checking in with a few individually every single day. And just having that recommendation, sometimes that means that I reach out to them as individuals. Sometimes it gives me someone to kind of recognize or highlight on social media. Sometimes maybe I've been in a conversation with that person and, don't necessarily have anything to text or call them about, but it's a good reminder for me to go look at their social media and to show them some love on some of their posts and to mention them, on my page. And I've always struggled. One of our, vital behaviors in our company is recognizing those who are clients with us, who are on our team. And I've always struggled with that. But my connection builder has even helped me be more intentional with that by seeing those reminders of today's, follow-ups with my team as reminders to recognize them.
That's awesome. And it's vital. It's key because, and I love that you gave those examples, because I think a lot of people come in and either they have a small team, so they're like, how am I going to reach out to 3 teammates a day if I don't have anybody in my downline yet because I'm new or something? It doesn't even have to be your specific downline. It can be your cross line. It can be your upline. It can be somebody else, but enriching the community and reaching out, giving somebody a little of your attention. It could take like 30 seconds to be like, hey, your last post was fantastic, or like or comment on some of the things. I like that you gave those examples because I think a lot of people like the power hour get in their head about what recognition has to be. Like, well, nobody's made $1 million in my downline. How am I supposed to recognize them? Well, did they show up? Did they use their product today? Were they supportive of somebody else? Are they trying? That's all stuff to recognize. And so I love that you gave those examples because I do think that is confusing for a lot of people. I think it'll be helpful.
Yeah, for sure. And that's really, that's it. I have other things, like if I have extra time, I have other things in my business that I do, obviously. But as far as my connection builder, that's how I've broken it down. And it's been very helpful for my business. It has helped my business grow even since January. And I just tell all of the members of my team to try it. So very grateful for.
Well, I'm grateful for you for sharing your time in here because, excuse me, but wow, that was a lot of information you just shared with us. Truly, you guys, listen, I saw her response to Intercom, which is the little help. There's like a live chat help desk. If you're not a member, we are on there live, like real people, including myself, the creator, are there answering questions. And I was like, you want to go live with me sometime and just talk about that? Like, I had no idea that it was going to be such fantastic content. So thank you for showing up and giving us such detailed information. So whether or not you're using my connection builder, that stuff is gold. Like what she just told you, do that in your day consistently and you will see results. But obviously with my connection builder, are you saving time or are you just seeing that more is getting done in your time?
Both, I think.
Yeah, people come on and be like, I used to work like 3 hours a day every time I sat down. And the first time I sat down with my connection builder, I was like, okay, here we go. Going to take me a long time. And they were done in like 25 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm finding that I can set my business hours and it differs on the week. It differs, on the day, but I can just evaluate what I need to get done during that time and just adjust the times as needed. And some of the behaviors that are the extras, I don't get done every day. Some don't need to be done every day or every week even. But I feel very organized and I feel equipped to duplicate this with my team and tell them, you don't have to be, overwhelmed. And I don't want you to live this constantly. Like you should be able to have this work-life balance and not feel, like it's taking over your life because it shouldn't have to. Yes,
I love that. And duplicatable, that's what everybody wants, is something that they can give their team that they love and want to succeed, like this system that you can just literally plug and play. And so thank you for choosing us to be that system and feeling so passionately about it. And I'm truly happy that it's getting you results in as little as, what has it been now? 2.5 months, 3 months?
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
Thank you for your time. I also have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, so I know how incredibly busy you are. And so thank you for sharing your time with us today. I will let you go. But yeah, you guys give her some love down below. I see we have some viewers, and I think that's just incredibly valuable information. So thank you for hopping on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.